How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So we are closing out the year now, which is crazy to say. It's been such a fast year and everything's just flown by, but it's been a massive year as well. So I'm going to bring you behind the scenes today, show you what I get up to. There's going to be a lot of planning for Envision Mastery, a lot of goal setting, a lot of admin stuff. I think it'd be quite neat to show you this side of what I do as well. So Envision Mastery is launching in 5 days, so New Year. Launches on January the 1st, cannot wait. There's a few little tweaks on the back end that I'm just making ahead of that. So yeah, I cannot wait. But anyway, busy end to the year. I've not really had that much time off for Christmas really. I had Christmas Day off, but apart from that, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, just been working as usual. Usually I'd like some time off, but my goal has just been finish Envision Mastery, get it ready. And even if I have to put in more effort, more hours on the Christmas period, it's going to be out for the members, which I promised would be January the 1st. So we stick to our word, we get it done, and that's what I'm going to do. Another episode being cooked up. I have some guests coming around soon, so I'm going to show them around the house. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and grab a coffee. Also a message for you as well, which is key. Beautiful. It's like my third one of the day. It's not even mid-afternoon yet. Anyway, overall, a message for you. Don't be the same person you came into 2024 as you are coming into 2025. That sounds very cliche, but the truth is behind this. Everyone, or most people, have right intentions coming into a new year. They think, you know what, I'm going to commit this year. I'm going to get myself in the gym, I'm going to work on my health, my fitness. Perfect. But why is it 2 weeks down the line, they've broken that habit loop, they come out of the gym and they start losing track again? Don't worry about perfection. Same in the markets, don't worry if you take a loss, you make an unforced error. It's going to happen. I'm not perfect, no one is. But pick yourself up, focus on what needs to get done, and focus on the entire year. It could be your biggest year yet if you put the work in, you focus, you dial in, surround yourself with the right people. It can be huge for you. But it starts now. It starts now. Get committed, dial in. This is going to be a massive year, so get focused. But overall, let's get back to work. Right, so I'm currently just uploading everything to the website ahead of the Envision Mastery launch on January the 1st, which is ticking away now and it's not far away. So if I just give you a sneak preview into how the episodes look, we've got this, which is episode 9, scaling in and hedging. Now, each episode starts off with, of course, the intro. Within the intro, we're giving you any indication of what you should be looking out for into the coming episode, anything you should be aware of, and the detail we're about to dig into as well. So every episode starts off with that. Then we dive into the concept itself. So in this case, it would be scaling in. We're talking about how to scale in, how to do it effective. This, of course, is just one technique to do it, but this is what we're digging into. Then we're digging into some live examples. Now, the great thing about this is that we're not just showcasing wins like a lot of people do. We're showcasing you case studies of wins, losses, and break-evens, and actually accepting the fact that this is all okay. It's all part of the style. You're going to get wins, losses, break-evens. It's a realistic point of view. Now it's just applying it in the right sense. So here we're touching on how to scale in. We've got the original entry, scaling to, of course, to come. And then later in the episode, that's when we dig into hedging and how to actually hedge positions as well. So each episode is designed in a way that allows you to pick it up in the most effective way possible, because you're picking it up from the concept itself to then live examples and then case studies of wins, losses, and break-evens. So it covers everything and it allows you to pick it up from different learning standpoints as well. So love this, cannot wait for it to launch, and it's coming very soon. Very excited. Whilst I've got videos uploading, I thought I'd just quickly talk to you about how I feel this year's gone. This year, without a shadow of a doubt, has been the biggest year so far in terms of the markets, in terms of life, growth and progression. It's been insane. Of course, there's been a lot of challenges along the way. I don't show everything on social media for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's definitely required a different version of me to really come out, I think. I think I've matured in a lot of different aspects this year. I feel like I've learned 2-3 years of lessons in 1 year. So it's been a good year. It's been a great year. I think if we start off with the markets, I think the markets have excelled my initial anticipation of how the year would be, but it's in a different form. I wrote a goal coming into the year, which was to be aggressive in certain aspects of the markets and really lean into that side of the skill set, because I had that fluidity. I've been in the markets for a long period of time now. I can do that, and I trusted myself with that. And it's mainly been in the form of pound yen, to be honest, which that side of things I didn't plan for. So once again, you never know how things are going to play out 100% of the time. But I had the intention of being conservative with some parts of my trading to start off the year, and then lean into being offensive with other parts of my trading. So that's played out very well. I think as the years progressed and as results have continued to rise, you lean into being more aggressive with using the skill set with a lot more fluidity. So yeah, that's been a very interesting part of my trading that I've had to really develop and excel in certain aspects. I've learned a lot through that experience as well, but it's just taught me more so coming into next year, more offensive, lean into the skill set more, trust yourself. And I say this quote too often, but I'm going to say it again because it's so true, but you've got to think outside the box. It's not just this year has really shown me, which I developed from 2022, 2023 as well. You've got to be thinking different from most people. If you think about what makes most people fail in the markets or stay at a certain point within the trading for a long period of time, it tends to be just programming to do the same thing, follow the same plan, follow the same model. I don't mean that in terms of strategy, by the way. You want to be following one strategy and sticking to one thing. However, what I'm saying is, in terms of that one-minded approach of, it's difficult to explain. How do I put this in a words that's easy to understand? You've got the 3-to-1 risk to reward model, let's say. For most people, they would just want to stick to that and just trust probabilities and play that out. But you can utilize so many different techniques to effectively scale your trading to the next level. But the truth is, a lot of people don't think outside the box with that. So for me this year, it's been being conservative, build up a buffer. Once you've got that buffer, you have the ammunition then to really level up and push things forward. So that's what this year's taught me, and it's been amazing. But I think for next year, be going in with more approaches, with more swing trading, with day trading as well being the bread and butter. Swing trading just really there to accelerate returns even further. I'm narrowing back 3 pairs to 2 pairs. So I'm cutting dollar Swiss out of the mix. It's been solid. I can't really complain. I'm still profitable over the year on dollar Swiss, but in comparison to euro dollar and pound yen, it's not even in the mix. So for me, I'd rather channel my focus into 2 pairs, do very well on 2 pairs instead of having the distraction of 3 pairs to have maybe less results. I'd rather just dial in on what's working, and that's what's working for me. So that's going to be the plan of action. I think it's just going to be a massive year for me. Getting the year off to a great start is my intention, and there's certain techniques I will be using to do that, both from a day trading and swing trading perspective. So many things I'll be leveraging this year. I cannot wait to get into it. I'm very ready, and I think this is where my experience has already shown in the markets this year as well, just by adapting, putting things in place. If you're going through drawdown periods, putting things in place when things are going very well for you, learning how to lean into that risk, learning how to lean into being more offensive. There's just a lot more things that people don't realize to this game, and I think the more time I have in the markets, the more I back the ability to focus on mastery. I think that's the key, and that's obviously why I named Envision Mastery. It's something that I hold true to myself, and when I think about trading, I always think of it in terms of mastering the skill set. Much like you get, some of the top performers in different sports think about mastering the craft. I just view trading as the same thing. It's not a sport by any means, but the mindset is the same. The mindset is very much spot on. So that's how I like to view it. But yeah, trading for myself and a lot of the members this year is just going to absolutely hit that next level. So very much ready for it. For me as a person, obviously been through a few things, but overall very positive. I think I've really pushed myself this year, but I think next year just going to push myself more. That's honestly the key takeaway. Like, I don't know how to put this. Like, you push yourself even like you push yourself to a certain extent, but you've got to push yourself more. I think my fitness has lacked a little bit this year, if I'm being transparent with myself. I moved into an old house, when was that, May? And I think I was just put in a gym environment that was a little bit more hotel-like, and fitness was my priority to maintain and keep healthy and stuff, same with health, but my focus was very much, I was in the trenches with trading, really trying to scale that, which happened, and obviously timing-wise played out very nicely. Same with Envision as well, with obviously Envision Mastery coming into the equation. So fitness did take a back step, and I think sometimes it's difficult to do so many different things at once. But to some degree, you've got to be a jack of all trades. You've got to be able to be optimum with your fitness, be optimum with trading, be optimum with everything you're doing, and that's difficult sometimes. But this coming the year, got to really level up my physique once again and really focus on my health and fitness. And yeah, I think since I did the detox at the start of this year, end of last year, I lost a lot of weight. You could see it in my face. I was watching an old video of mine yesterday. I was like, my days, lost so much weight in that period, which to me at the time I didn't realize, but looking back it was crazy. You can see how skinny I am on my face and stuff like that. So I did build some of that weight back, but I think comparing to where I was in 2023, midway through, I put on quite a lot of weight then. So I think my focus this year is to prioritize health and fitness, get back to a great stage with my physique. It's great now, but I've got so much more potential. So that'll be a great focus of mine, being healthy and just prioritizing focus. And to be honest, I know a lot of people set all these crazy goals coming into a new year. I've got a couple of ones to push myself out of my comfort zone, don't get me wrong, but the mission continues, the mission stays the same. It's just elevating that thinking to different levels, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I think this year is a year of scalability, which every year seems to be on a different level, and just flowing with life. Like, I like to think of it like I have my goal set, I have my mission, I have my vision, I know exactly where I'm going to be, and I'm pushing every day to be that person, to be in that place. And as life continues to unravel, you just get closer and closer to where you want to be. So this year has transformed me into levels that I would hope for, and it has happened, which I'm grateful for. But next year is just doing it even more so, just leveling up and just really maximizing the year. So it's been a great year, but I'm kind of the person that would always look back on the year and say, you know, I could have done more and all this stuff. I think I've always got that mindset. If I worked for 24 hours a day, I'd still say, we could have done this, could have done that. I'm always going to have that mindset. It's what pushes me forward to that next level. So to one degree, it's great. To another degree, is that perfectionist mindset sometimes, which I don't really take forward into the markets too much. I think I've learned to kind of take a back seat with that. But when it comes to content, like Envision Mastery, there was certain videos I'd done and the audio wasn't quite right, or I've had to cut it midway through, so I've just refilmed the entire thing. So that perfectionist mindset does creep in sometimes, which I think is good to a certain degree. But yeah, next year, just completely level up and take these different aspects to newer heights. So yeah, grateful for this year, grateful for the lessons, grateful for the maturity, grateful for the expansion. Next year, completely different level. So yeah, but apart from that, that's my talk. Have a think about your year. Have a think about what you've achieved this year, or if you've not achieved what you wanted to achieve, why has that been? You know, regardless of what I've achieved this year and the goals that I've ticked off, there'll still be reflection. I have done reflection, and it's a case of like, well, what can I do to improve? What have I not ticked off? What have I not done? Just make sure that you're pushing forward in all aspects of life. So, and the key thing is transparency. Be transparent with yourself. If you're not transparent with yourself, that's where it starts from. If you need to be fully transparent and fully honest with yourself, identify your problems, identify where you're going wrong, and then just fix it. I know it sounds very simple, but it can be to a certain extent. So yeah, have a good think over the next few days as you come into the end of the year of what things you need to focus on coming into 2025. This is where people like myself and stuff like that are just very driven just to keep that momentum going and transform that into new heights coming into the year. Don't be the person that coming into the new year, you try and start more momentum. The goal for you is always continuing that momentum. Don't build momentum and destroy it overnight just because you've had a cheat day, just because you've not had a perfection week or whatever it may be. Focus on consistency over perfection. That's the biggest focus for you this year. Don't let yourself be put off by a day or a week of bad results, bad habits, whatever it may be. Pick yourself back up. Pick yourself back up always and get back on top. So yeah, that's a bit of a rant, but I'm going to continue editing. This video's uploaded now. So I'm going to break down one of my favorite trades of the year. Not from a standpoint of profitability, although it was a great winning trade, more so from the lessons that actually provided and the way that it played out. So overall, let's look at the daily. Now ignore some of the drawings that I've got drawn in. This is just focused on 2025. But overall, we can see that from a standpoint of price action, we've had price come lower here. What does price do? Protects the low to the left. We start rallying. How do we rally? With clear intent. Where is price pausing here? The origin of the move. Why? What's the purpose of this? To tempt traders into short-term sells ahead of time before we've even taken this high. It's a high that price will likely gravitate towards. So very obvious narrative higher prices. We're currently sat at 192. We understood at this point in time that we were looking for prices to exceed 199.5, which we later hit. So obvious targets for price here. On the 1 hour chart, we can see as we start to move higher, even before this high was taken. Looking at order flow being bullish, you can see here, price has swept this previous low. No intention of further downside. We flushed down into discount, pushed higher, clear intention, then pulled back into discount, and then looking for long opportunities. Now, from an intraday standpoint, we had the low of the day potentially being formed, which was before Asia even came into the picture. We had price start to rally lower, protected Asia lows, showed intention for higher prices, pull back for the entry. Asia highs was not yet tapped. So it was a case where this was very nice coming into London. Then we presented an entry, I took it, and then looking for higher prices inbound from there. So I was tapped in here. Price moved very quickly. Where's the first target? Asia highs. So here's a point where I've got risk off the table, stops covered, plus commissions, stop loss here. You've got to factor in commission. I always talk about this. You can't just move to break even because you will get totaled up on commission as well. You've got to also factor that in. First target hit, didn't take, profit off the table here. So here, essentially what I'm doing is that I understand that we have highs in here to be achieved. So my first real target was this point here. But obviously along the way, managing it, any signs of reversal, looking to take profit and trail stops. So that's how I do it. TP set plus trailing stops. Now we start to rally higher. As we do so, just obviously trailing my stop along the way. Stops now below London lows. One thing I will say on this, I was in 2 trades on this. So I've got a day trade open and then I'm also in a swing trade. So from a day trading standpoint, first opportunity to get out the trade, pay myself, I will take it. As soon as the market shows me any signs of potentially showcasing a deeper pullback, etc. But here, not so much. Then it was coming into New York. So as we start to come closer to TP, being aware that I don't want to be seeing these bigger pullbacks, here's where I trailed my stop. Here. Just below this low here for here. And then what we had is coming into New York, we presented the territory of a potential reversal, start to break lower. I'm out the trade now for a beautiful return just before price takes that swing high. So overall, I understand that high is going to be taken. However, to risk a deeper pullback with a day trade when I'm already in a swing trade doesn't make logical sense. So bank the profit, move on. From a swing trades perspective, I was in the trade and I was targeting extreme higher prices here. So yeah, we're at, what type of price we got here? 193. So here I'm looking to manage for the longer term. So obviously with in mind that we're going to see prices of this area in here, obviously not holding it all the way, but just trailing stops along the way as we start to move to this territory. So I want to describe the mindset behind this because this was a mistake on my end and it taught me a lot of things about holding these trades. So held this overnight. From the swing trading perspective, day trade is already closed. Now it's here. Price started to absolutely fly. I think it's 2 days after. So here, running in severe profit. This is looking, unbelievable. At one point, I'm running 15%. Even more at this point. This is where it gets interesting because if I look at this, up until this point, I'm asleep in Asia, right? So we have 22 GMT, price rallies higher, and at one point we tapped into roughly 15% profit. Now, at that point, for me, I'm just managing loosely. So I've got a little bit of profit locked in, just, it's roughly about 2%. And all I'm waiting for essentially is price to move lower, create a swing structure, trailing behind swing structure, right? Now, as we start to move higher, we of course present that. Now, my real trail stop here should have been roughly 10-11%, which accelerates the year's returns massively. Now, I woke up, what time was this? Yeah, so I'm awake at this point pretty much. And I'm thinking, right, let me just get ready. I'm gonna go downstairs. I'll trail my stops to this point, and then I'll obviously do my markups and get ready for the day. So that's my priority. I was about 5 or 10 minutes away from trailing my stop from here to here. What happened next? Boom. So it's a case on pound yen that we had some news. It wasn't on Forex Factory. It was a bit of a shakeout with the Japanese yen that happened. In terms of this trade, there was a lot of lessons learned. To be running at one point 20%, for price to pull back to only a small amount of profit taught me a lot. Now, although I'd already banked profit from the day trade, I'd already secured the profit. This was an extra as a way to accelerate returns. This really was a bit of a hit in the face essentially, because to be running that amount of profit, to be so close to trailing stops but not having do so, and for price to move that quickly taught me a lot to not be naive in the markets and always trail stops and pay yourself. You can't say, let me wait 5-10 minutes. You don't have time to do that. The markets can do anything, especially on the Japanese yen pairs. We can have these often flushes down. So this would have been the greatest position of the year by far. But it was a case where when we had that flush down, completely took me out for 2%. Massive, massive lesson for me. So coming into next year, I will be securing a lot more profits. And of course, I did take various swing trades after this, which applied the lessons. And this was all the way back in September. So a lot of lessons since then from a swing trading aspect. But overall, this taught me a lot about experiencing the markets. So yeah, beautiful trade, a lot of lessons. That's probably my most valuable lesson of the year with swing trades. There's been a few as well. That was definitely one of them. But overall, hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you take that lesson forward into your trading and apply that going into 2025. Always pay yourself, regardless of what profit you're running at. Always pay yourself. The truth is, had I not been in the day trade and banked that profit, there's no way I would have let that price pull back. My primary focus is always the bread and butter trades. Pay yourself, start to accumulate that profit slow and steadily. Once you've got that, then you have the opportunity and the affordability to then take these swing trades to essentially speed up your returns. So this is kind of like an added extra trade itself. It wasn't my primary focus, but it became a focus once the trade obviously started running. So shows you the potential with the way we manage things in Envision. If you do it in the right sense, these trades can really add up. So coming into 2025, inside Envision Mastery, you'll have the swing trading approach, but there's two different approaches to that. You obviously have the intraday entries with the swing targets. Then you actually have a higher time frame approach if you are working a 9 to 5 or you can't be on the charts, you have a busy family life. We've accommodated for both. So there's a way that you can still make the style work. It just depends on how you want to do it, and that's completely up to you. But overall, I'm going to finish this video. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed the lessons. Let's crack on with a big 2025. It's going to be a massive year. So hope you enjoyed the video. Speak to you soon.